You are a seasoned loan originator. You've been around the block and have the portfolio to prove it. You should work here. You expect to be compensated fairly. You've earned the freedom to do what you're good at and the support that makes it possible. You should work here. You're a builder of relationships, a cultivator of trust, a deliverer of dreams. You should work here. You are a team player, a culture enhancer, and on most days, a smile provider. You should work here.
We are Wintrust Mortgage
One of Chicago's top workplaces.
for the past 7 years in a row.
And in case we haven't made it clear,
We want you to work here.
For over 60 years, Air Room has been creating award-winning kitchens carefully executed by our in-house team of designers and remodelers. With a renewed focus on spending quality time at home, Air Room has created its most affordable kitchen transformation program yet. Introducing the Revive Kitchen. Imagine custom-made cabinetry, quartz countertops with a waterfall-wrapped island, soft closed drawers featuring walnut interiors, even an invisible phone charging station in multiple colors, styles, and configurations designed to fit almost any home. Over 14 upgrades in all. Call the number on your screen to set up a free design consultation, which includes 3D color renderings of your project. This limited-time introductory offer can be yours for as little as $4.99 a month, with zero money down or zero interest, and installed in as little as 3 weeks. The Revive Kitchen, with all the luxury and experience Air Room is known for.
It's never easy to win the NBA championship. Just ask Denver Nugget fans, for example. Starting as the Denver Rockets in 1967, in the now defunct American Basketball Association, the Nuggets never made the NBA Finals prior to last season, much less winning the whole enchilada. And then there are teams like the Phoenix Suns who have never won an NBA title. But as bad as the Suns have been during the postseason, other teams have been much worse. In fact, there are 5 teams who have never even reached the NBA Finals.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world. This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Good, looking sharp in both crews. This is really an excellent race. St. Ignatius at that 34-35. You can hear the fans here. Loyola looking excellent as well. Here comes the Loyola Ramblers. Good, and we've got some open water there. Some open water between St. Ignatius and Loyola. We've got, maybe about a boat length open water here.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world.
Illinois' top-ranked orthopedic and spine practice, Midwest Orthopedics at Rush, is now in Joliet. See a world-class specialist close to home. To be your best, see the best.
There are only two kinds of people in this world. Those who get committed and those who don't.
Before you find yourself in a housing standoff, get committed. Visit our website to learn more.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Good, looking sharp in both.
There are only two kinds of people in this world. Those who get committed and those who don't.
Before you find yourself in a housing standoff, get committed. Visit our website to learn more.
Promises. They fill every cubic meter and ride on every kilometer. Over mountains, oceans, borders. Beneath it all is our promise. Because we know that when we deliver on our promise, business moves forward. And you can keep your promise. Coyote Logistics. Drive your business forward.
Before you know it, you call me son.
You call me daughter.
You call me brother.
You call us sisters. Your family will make a difference in how America is perceived and what America stands for.
And we invite you to welcome an exchange student like me to your home and your family.
For over 70 years, AFS USA has brought exchange students from around the world to study in the U.S. and live with an American family for a school year, semester, or 6 to 12 weeks. Before you know it, you'll be a proud AFS host family.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Good, looking sharp in both crews. This is really an excellent race. St. Ignatius at that 34-35. You can hear the fans here. Loyola looking excellent as well. Here comes the Loyola Ramblers. Good, and we've got some open water there. Some open water between St. Ignatius and Loyola. We've got, maybe about a boat length open water here.
promises. They fill every cubic meter and ride on every kilometer. Over mountains, oceans, borders. Beneath it all is our promise. Because we know that when we deliver on our promise, business moves forward. And you can keep your promise. Coyote Logistics. Drive your business forward.
It's never easy to win the NBA championship. Just ask Denver Nugget fans, for example. Starting as the Denver Rockets in 1967, in the now defunct American Basketball Association, the Nuggets never made the NBA Finals prior to last season, much less winning the whole enchilada. And then there are teams like the Phoenix Suns who have never won an NBA title. But as bad as the Suns have been during the postseason, other teams have been much worse. In fact, there are 5 teams who have never even reached the NBA Finals. But why is that the case? Bad luck, bad management, not enough time? Each of these franchises are to be analyzed to better figure out what went wrong, what's going wrong, and what may continue to go wrong, or right for that matter. Let's dig a little deeper why these 5 teams have never made it to the NBA Finals.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world.
It's a weird time for the NBA, a post-Bulls Jordan league that lacked an overall depth and talent, yet was the last premier era of the NBA big man. You had established superstars such as Shaquille O'Neal, Chris Webber, Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, and Alonzo Mourning. You had the up-and-comers such as Kenyon Martin, Marcus Camby, Ben Wallace, Dirk Nowitzki, Pau Gasol, Tyson Chandler, and Elton Brand. You even had the veteran Hall of Famers on their last leg, such as Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Karl Malone, and Dikembe Mutombo. Truly a golden era of big man in every phrase of the word. And the big man we'll be focused on today would likely fit in the early 2000s up-and-comer bracket, Jermaine O'Neal. Drafted 17th overall straight out of high school in the historic 1996 NBA draft class that featured Kobe Bryant, Ray Allen, and Steve Nash. O'Neal became the youngest player to ever play in an NBA game at that time. His career lasted 17 seasons, playing for the Trailblazers, Pacers, Raptors, Heat, Celtics, Suns, and Warriors. After joining the Pacers for the 2000-2001 season, O'Neal's career hit an apex that lasted from the 2001-2002 season to the 06-07 campaign. This stretch included 6 straight All-Star appearances, 3 straight All-NBA teams from 2002 to 2004, he was second team in 2004, and a conference finals appearance in 2004. In an era stuffed with centers and power forwards, who ranged from high-quality starters to Hall of Famers, O'Neal was regarded as one of the best in the league during that time. As impressive as he was during his peak, was it enough for him to be considered for the Basketball Hall of Fame? As good as he was as a Pacer, the rest of his career was average at best and arrestable at worst, pun intended. He started in Portland for the 1996-97 season, where he played the next 4 seasons. These Portland teams made the playoffs each season he was there, and even made the conference finals back-to-back years in 1999 and 2000. In 2000, they took the Lakers to 7 games, losing 89-84 in the historic game that featured the iconic Kobe to Shaq alley-oop in the closing minutes of the game. By the way, Portland was up by more than 10 points in the game. It was a very successful run for Portland, a run that O'Neal had little to nothing to do with. During his time with the Trailblazers, O'Neal never averaged over 13.5 minutes per game. His most impactful season came in 1998, where he averaged 4.5 points, 3.4 rebounds, and 1 block per game. As underwhelming as O'Neal's career was when he was with Portland, it's hard to place a ton of blame on him for his struggles. In a time where selecting a high school player was still considered a taboo move, he was a teenager playing with grown men. The center and forward positions were especially stacked for Portland, in a roster that featured Arvydas Sabonis, Rasheed Wallace, Scottie Pippen, Detlef Schrempf, and Brian Grant. Unless they're an instant generational talent, it's extremely hard for a young prospect to get playing time for an NBA team contending for a title. You even see this in today's NBA, with the Golden State Warriors still trying to figure out how to fit their younger prospects into the rotation. Hard to hold Jermaine's first 4 seasons against him. After the Pacers went into a mini rebuild parting ways with veterans Mark Jackson, Rick Smits, Chris Mullin, and head coach Larry Bird, they traded for O'Neal in 2000. He was put into their starting unit and instantly made huge strides, posting career highs in every major statistical category other than field goal percentage, which makes sense because he went from taking 3 to 4 shots per game to 10 plus. He would average 12.8 points, 9.8 rebounds, and 2.8 blocks for the 2000-2001 season. His next 6 seasons would be what defined his stardom, as he would team up with future Hall of Famer Reggie Miller and future Defensive Player of the Year Ron Artest. But with an aging Reggie Miller and the unpredictable personality that was Ron Artest, O'Neal ultimately became the best player and most valuable player for the Pacers during this time. He averaged 20.4 points, 9.9 rebounds, 2.1 assists, and 2.4 blocks per game, shooting 45.9% from the field between 2001 to 2007. He also had 39.3 win shares, 25.7 defensive, 13.6 offensive, a plus-minus of 1.7, 1.0 defensive, and 0.8 offensive, and a player efficiency rating of 20.3 in those seasons. To put these stats in context, one player who puts up similar numbers to O'Neal in today's game is Domantas Sabonis. While a much better passer than O'Neal ever was, and not quite the defender, Sabonis has 43.5 win shares, 25.8 offensive and 17.7 defensive, a plus-minus of 2.3, 1.3 offensive and 0.9 defensive, and a player efficiency rating of 19.3. Sabonis just recently finished his 7th season. O'Neal's success on the court translated to the success of the team. The Pacers would win 312 games to 262 games lost and make the playoffs 5 out of 6 possible seasons from 2001 to 2002 to 2006 and 07. His play would get him into 6 straight All-Star games, the 2001 to 2002 Most Improved Player Award, and 3 All-NBA teams. His best season was in 2003 to 2004, where he averaged 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 2.6 blocks. He started 78 games that season, made second-team All-NBA, and finished 3rd in MVP voting. The Pacers would go 61-21 that year and make it to the conference finals, where they lost in 6 games to the 2004 NBA champion Detroit Pistons. By 2004, O'Neal was certainly in the conversation with the best big men in the league. At that time, that conversation included players like Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, and Dirk Nowitzki, 4 players with Hall of Fame resumes, if they're not in already. But it would be the 2004-05 season that would define O'Neal's career, and not in the way anyone would have hoped. The Pacers started off the season hot with a 7-2 start, which would have projected them to finish the season 64-18, 3 wins better than the last season of 61-21. Then, in a game against the Pistons on November 19, 2004, it all came to a crashing halt. The Pacers had a commanding 97-82 lead over their division rival in the closing minute of the road game in Detroit. After a hard foul at the rim on Ben Wallace by Ron Artest, an enraged Wallace came after Artest. Wallace had to be held back by teammates and security for multiple minutes, while Artest was moved by the scoring table, where he started to lay down. As Artest lay down on the scoring table, a fan threw a drink at him, which instigated a brawl that caused Artest and teammate Steven Jackson to run into the stands and throw punches at the fan. This incident was ultimately dubbed Malice at the Palace, a notorious brawl that transcended basketball and changed the landscape of the NBA forever. As some fans eventually started to run onto the court, O'Neal punched a man in the jaw who was running at him. He was subsequently charged with assault and battery for his role in the incident and was sentenced to a year of community service. He was initially suspended 25 games for the incident, but an appeal knocked that down to 15 games. Though O'Neal had a limited/non-instigatory role in the Malice at the Palace, it certainly left a black eye on his legacy as an NBA player. Not something that bodes well for a Hall of Fame case. Once O'Neal got back from a suspension in December of 2004, he was never really the same player. On top of the suspension, he had to miss multiple games during that season with a lingering shoulder injury. He finished that season with 44 games played, and the Pacers finished with a 44-38 record. After beating the Celtics in the first round, they were ironically bounced in the semifinals by the Pistons. While O'Neal was able to make the All-Star team for 3 straight seasons following the Malice at the Palace, his play and ability to stay on the floor started to seriously decline. In his final full season with Indiana in 2007-08, he played in 42 games, starting in 34 of them. He averaged 13.6 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 2.1 blocks in just 28.7 minutes per game, all sizable drops for the numbers he put up in his prime. 2007-08 was the first season he would make the All-Star team since 2000-2001, and he wouldn't make any more of them for the rest of his career. He was traded to the Raptors in the offseason 2008. By the 2008 All-Star break, O'Neal had missed nearly a quarter of the season and had lost his starting spot to up-and-coming center Andre Bargnani. He would be traded to the Heat later that season and would finish his 41 games in Toronto, averaging 13.5 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 blocks. His 2009-10 season in Miami would be his last decent season in terms of his health and productivity. He would play 70 games, averaging 13.6 points, 6.9 rebounds, and 1.4 blocks while playing 28.4 minutes per game. A variety of injuries would further plague him for the rest of his career after that season. He played with the Celtics, Suns, and Warriors up until his final season in 2013-14. From 2010 to 2014, he would play 148 games, 51 games started, posting averages of 7.1 points, 5.1 rebounds, and 1.3 blocks. For the second half of his career, you could argue O'Neal was nothing more than a role player. Despite the late bloom and sour ending of his career, how did O'Neal compare to the other big man superstars of his generation during his prime? Remember, the Hall of Fame is voted by the sports writers. From 2001 to 2007, the top-tier power forwards and centers were Shaquille O'Neal, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, and Dirk Nowitzki. Here's how O'Neal's stats match up against theirs, as you see the graphic here. From 2002 to 2007, Jermaine O'Neal shot almost 46% from the field, three-point percentage not great at 18.4, and 20.4 points per game, among other notable statistics. Dirk Nowitzki, much better, 24.6 points, 2-point percentage of 49.6, efficient field goal percentage of 51.3. Kevin Garnett, more in points per game, 2-point percentage is better at 50.5, efficient field goal percentage 50.1, free throw percentage much better at 80%. Tim Duncan, 2002 to 2007. Surprisingly, not that much more points per game than Jermaine O'Neal. 21.7 points, 50.8 field goal percentage, efficient field goal percentage of 50.9, total rebounds of 11.8. And Shaquille O'Neal, absolutely dominant. 24.1 points, efficient field goal percentage. This is insane. 58.4, 2.2 blocks, and a field goal percentage of 58.4. How bad was his free throw percentage? Pretty darn bad, 51.5. While each of those player stats are clearly a bit superior to O'Neal's, it's surprising to see how close he comes up to matching up with them. Shaq and Tim Duncan are top 10 players in the history of the NBA, and Dirk and KG are also considered amongst the best this league has ever seen. O'Neal is second in blocks amongst them with 2.4, just under Duncan's 2.5. The big difference between O'Neal and these four players was sustainability and team success. During this window, Shaq won 3 of his 4 NBA titles, 2 with the Lakers, 1 with the Heat. Duncan won 3 of his 5 titles. Dirk and KG would go on to win a title later in their careers. Also, O'Neal's only real case for the Hall of Fame is his 6 All-Star seasons. Shaq had an 8-year prime going into the 2001 season. Duncan won a championship in 1999, and he was able to develop himself into a championship-level contributor even when he passed his prime, making multiple All-Star, All-NBA, and All-Defensive teams when he was 35-plus years old. KG blossomed an All-Star 5 years prior to 2001 and was an All-Star for 5 of his next 6 seasons in Boston after getting traded by Minnesota in the 2007 offseason. Dirk was just entering his prime around the same time O'Neal was and was able to extend it nearly another decade. To be fair, those 4 are some of the greatest to ever play the game. So just because O'Neal's career didn't play out the same as theirs doesn't mean he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame. Some of the center/power forward Tier 2 and Tier 3 stars during that time were Ben Wallace, Chris Webber, and Elton Brand. Here's how O'Neal's numbers measure against them. Jermaine O'Neal, once again, 20.4 points per game, efficient field percentage. This is where it kind of hurts him. It's only at 46%, so he wasn't that efficient of a player. Blocks, excellent, 2.4, and then fouls per game, 3.5. For Elton Brand, 20.4 points per game, efficient field goal percentage. It's better than Jermaine O'Neal, 51.5. Free throw percentage, it's still better, 75.2, whereas Jermaine O'Neal was 73.5. How about Chris Webber? Actually, Chris averaged less points per game than Jermaine O'Neal, 19.6. Player fouls, 3. Free throw percentage, 71. Total rebounds, 9.3. So Jermaine O'Neal actually had more rebounds than Chris Webber. For Ben Wallace, not a great offensive player by any stretch of the imagination. Only 7.9 points per game. But here's what hurts Jermaine O'Neal again. 47 efficient field goal percentage, just 46 for Jermaine. Ben Wallace stands out because he had little to no offensive game. He was, however, one of the most prominent centers in the league during that time frame. He was maybe the best defensive center in the league, making every all-defensive team during that stretch with 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards. He also made 5 All-NBA teams and was recently inducted into the Hall of Fame. The more apt comparisons to O'Neal would be Chris Webber and Elton Brand. All 3 have similar stats during this time. 2010 players who thrived in the post, pick and roll, and mid-range. Webber, who's now a Hall of Famer, had the better career of the three. Like O'Neal, he struggled to find his place early in his career, bouncing from the Warriors to the Bullets/Wizards before ultimately landing with the Kings. But despite this situation, Webber still managed to put up all-star level numbers. From 1993 to 2001, he averaged 21.8 points, 10.2 rebounds, 4.3 assists, 1.8 blocks, and 1.5 steals, shooting 50% from the field. He was also a couple questionable calls away from making the finals. Elton Brand, who's not in the Hall of Fame, has the most similar career arc to O'Neal. He basically had an 8-year apex from his rookie year in 1999 to 2000 to 2006 to 07. A couple games into the 2007-8 season, he tore his Achilles and was never quite the same player after that. He was an effective role player for the next 5 to 6 seasons, but not the star that he once was. He was in essence the same dilemma as O'Neal when it comes to making a Hall of Fame case. Was he dominant for a long enough time to justify him being inducted? After breaking his career down in full, it's time to answer the big question. Does Jermaine O'Neal belong in the Basketball Hall of Fame?
Hello guys, how you doing? My name is Robert Mitten. As you can see, I'm part of the C1 team. C1 is gonna be #1. I had a Class B CDL license for about 4 years. I just upgraded to a Class A. When it comes to experience, I have about 6 months experience. I found this company by a good friend of mine named Andy. He also helped my cousin get in named Ricardo. And we have a friend of mine named Twan. He's here with us. It's a great company to work for. It's a growing company. Also, my supervisor, Danny, he's the best.
The early 2000s was a weird time for the NBA, a post-Bulls Jordan league that lacked an overall depth and talent, yet was the last premier era of the NBA big man. You had established superstars such as Shaquille O'Neal, Chris Webber, Kevin Garnett, Tim...
Hello guys, how you doing? My name is Robert Mitten.
Yeah, they doing that. Yeah, they doing that.
You know what headphones I should be using?
Huh?
You know what headphones I should be using? You know which one? Like which, I don't know which cord is connected.
You're doing the TD, right?
Yeah.
I believe you're using the earbuds.
Oh, I bet. All right, cool.
The commentators will be using those.
And where are you going to be sitting?
I don't know, out of the way, I guess. I might during the game be back and forth between those things.
Oh, so you don't need headphones?
No. I'm gonna be either like here.
Yeah, you're gonna be
I might slide in here at some point just so I can record, but I'm maybe gonna be down there looking at stats, injuries, just see like how well we're at the I actually have
Have you ever used this one before?
I have, but it's been a long time.
Oh, okay.
Relatively simple to get started. And then every commercial break, you just hit media, and then it'll go right to media.
Transition.
Yeah, transition it over to media.
Just hit any commercial.
Any commercial. Once you hit one commercial should start replaying so you hit transition over back to the broadcast.
The same commercial or just all of them?
All of them will start playing. That's why you gotta make sure you hit transition over to the
when I hit transition, the commercial will be in the program section.
Yeah.
Yup.
I played.
Yeah, same. I chose the wrong sport. I chose basketball.
Really?
Yeah, I chose soccer.
There's nothing wrong with soccer, man.
No, it's not, but I should have.
Soccer is great. Soccer is the greatest sport of all time. Hey, Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo?
I like Ronaldo.
But who's the GOAT?
Messi.
See,
yeah, the debate's over.
That, once he won the World Cup, that just solidified it. And people go, what about Pele? Dude, I think if Messi was playing back in Pele's day, who's stopping Messi?
Yeah, Messi won the World Cup. It's over. The debate's over. Yeah. I mean, Messi has 6 Ballon d'Or. Ronaldo has 4. Ronaldo has 5.
The debate's over. Thank you.
I know that.
I respect Ronaldo fans when they say Messi is the GOAT. Yeah. When they say Ronaldo is, I go, how? How? Tell me. That's what I check. He thinks I get to boot it off his teams.
He just wanted one player.
And then, of course, I know a lot of people jump ship over to Messi when Ronaldo went over to Saudi Arabia and they don't treat women right. And he's like, why are you going over there? I'm just glad Messi's actually making the MLS entertaining.
Yeah, you're right. That team, in Miami team, crazy.
Dude, I paid $350. And my brother also paid $350 to go see Chicago Fire against Inter Miami because of Lionel Messi. He didn't show up.
Yeah, I know that. I'm in that game.
I was upset.
just like tall buildings, as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young, and it's just begun, as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Good, looking sharp in both crews. This is really an excellent race. St. Ignatius at that 34, 35. You can hear the fans here. Loyola looking excellent as well. Here comes the Loyola Ramblers. Good, and we've got some open water there. Some open water between St. Ignatius and Loyola. We've got, maybe about a boat length open water here.
Will you ask Emily if she'll come over here for a second? Sorry.
Yeah, you just have to both these. It looks plugged, but this piece, not so sure. It looks plugged, but this piece.
Okay.
It looks plugged though. I was gonna test them out.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Check. On a piece of paper? Alright, you want to test it out?
Yeah. My sound just went off.
Check. 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 Okay. Check. Where's the... Ooh. Oh. Here's your... David, is it Adelman or Edelman? Edelman.
Yeah.
Here's your...
Spelled like Adelman, but actually Edelman.
Dude, you got enough? Here's your pen. You got enough room?
I'm not related to the coach of...
Figured you weren't.
I'm not related to Rick Adelman.
When do we go? Do we just go on when they are like done warm-ups?
For what, like the national anthem?
Like when does when the broadcast starts?
The broadcast starts.
Because we don't want too much. I mean, they're still warming up for 3 minutes because they got started late.
The broadcast starts when the national anthem goes.
Okay. All right. So.
Is it all recording?
We'll go whenever the national anthem goes. I know they're running a couple minutes late. So. So my first gig, I interned for Dave Kaplan at WGN.
Oh, that's who I work for. My whole. Oh, you do that? So you work for Kaplan?
I did. My first job out of school, I interned at GN Radio.
Because that's who I work for. Yeah. You knew that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cap's like my boy. That's my guy.
He's the greatest.
Yeah.
He started.
So did you know Steve Buckman?
Who's that?
Steve Buckman.
Buckman.
So you didn't know him? Okay, so you interned after him. Because Steve Buckman worked for Cap for a little bit at WGN as well.
Okay, so I was there, let's see.
Yeah, it's probably way after him.
2009.
Yeah.
Mark Carmen, who running the Carmen.
That's my guy, Carm.
I still do some stuff with Carm. Talk to him all the time, CHGO stuff.
So I did a podcast with him for the Bulls.
Oh, yeah, okay. I knew Kevin Kaduk,
so we have lots of mutual.
Jordan
I don't know him.
But yeah, Capper.
But Cap's my man. That's who I worked for all through college. That's how I got into coaching.
I remember the first night, the end of Sports Central's run at WGN that I was in there, and they were doing the show. I was like, I grew up listening, and on top of the world. And the next day, I wrote a sportscast for him because he was at NBC, and I had a typo or something. And afterwards, he called and lit me up, and he was completely right. It was a careless thing, and I swear to God, for the rest of my career until now, I triple check everything I've ever written because of that day. But he's the best. You're my guy.
That's really funny.
Fenwick High School for Fenwick and St. Ignatius basketball. I'm Chris Raby alongside David Edelman as we get ready to bring you some hoops from Chicago on a Tuesday night. Both these teams rounded into form, and we get ready for action in just a moment. We've got the starting lineups right now. We'll take a break, come back, and get ready for tip-off after this. It's Fenwick and St. Ignatius on Sports Broadcast Solutions.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world.
I can't hear anything.
You might just have to go this ear off so you can hear me.
What's that?
You might just have to kind of leave your one earphone off so you can hear me until we figure this out, all right? Are you ready to go? All right, we're ready to go. Welcome back to Fenwick High School as we get ready for basketball. Chris Ravy, David Adelman with you, and tip-off between these two teams. David, happy to be with you on a Tuesday night. I know that you know both these head coaches, two teams that are rounding into form at a pivotal time of year. An exciting game on hand.
Yeah, two good teams, great conference, and obviously nerves are going to be out there for a visiting team. And Fenwick takes advantage of it right away, gets 2 points.
Yeah, Fenwick off to the races. Dominic Dupree laying it in off the turnover, and quickly a 2-0 Friars advantage. You can hear the crowd here, the Fenwick students right behind the basket. And that's going to be another Ignatius turnover. Back-to-back possessions. Fenwick forces the turnover, and the Friars will get the ball.
And both coaches talked about this, talked about being solid. Fenwick really came into this game saying, hey, we hope to be the more solid team. And I know he really had a lot of respect for St. Ignatius being solid. So this is the start Fenwick was looking for.
Dominic Dupree, also Cameron Hogan, who you heard from in our pregame interview with Emily. Join Nathaniel Marshall in the starting five. Ty Macariola.
Marshall's the kid that's got recruited by Miami, had a big story.
And there's Dupree with a 3-ball. He's got the first 5 for the Friars. Yeah, there's plenty of talent on the court. We'll talk about it throughout the evening. Ignatius led by number 13, junior Phoenix Gill, who's already got a number of Division I offers. Yeah, and a team that's loaded with seniors and loaded with seniors that have had a lot of success at their time at Ignatius.
Yeah, St. Ignatius played in the state tournament last year. Phoenix Gill is being recruited by high major college basketball programs, and that's where Dupree wants to be. Dupree wants to be a recruited Division I player for Fenwick, and he comes right out. You can see this game means a lot to him.
David Ferguson is the head coach of the Fenwick Friars, and Matt Monroe, the head coach of St. Ignatius. We've got a 30-second timeout. David, there's something about programs like Fenwick, like Ignatius. You walk into the gym here, you see all the banners, and certainly I know that for a first-year head coach like David, who's at the helm for the Friars, he's been around the program for the last couple of years. He's been around the boys and girls programs, but finally he said he's glad to have a chance to put his stamp on this program.
Yeah, absolutely. David was a great player, played at St. Louis University, played overseas for many years, and really got started as a great trainer throughout Chicago. Lots of kids working with him, and has worked his way up into this situation. And look, baptism by fire, coaching your first job in this league. This is one heck of a league to start as a first-year coach.
It's pretty remarkable looking at the schedule. Both these teams have played tough schedules. Fenwick losing a 1-point game to De La Salle their last time out, and saying, hey, even though it's a loss, we can take a lot of positives from that. Shots weren't falling, and our team seems to be peaking at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, right now, this is where you're getting excited for the tournament. You know, the tournament is right around the corner, and every team gets their second opportunity.
Second chance opportunity there. And the first points of the evening as Sam Horenkamp puts it in off to the Phoenix Gill miss. And it's 5-2 Friars, the advantage as they bring the ball up in the hands of Nathaniel Marshall.
Getting points from Horenkamp is a real bonus for St. Ignatius. Doesn't take a lot of shots as their leader, defender, gets everybody involved. So when he gives you extra points, that's a huge win for St. Ignatius.
Cameron Hogan can't get the roll, and here comes Ignatius. Just under 2 minutes played so far in this game. Glad to have you with us on a Tuesday night at Fenwick High School. Pressure leads to a cross-court pass. Ignatius now trying to get set up.
Fenwick has come out with really good heavy pressure on the ball, and they've given Ignatius trouble getting into their offense so far.
Ignatius trying to go inside. That ball knocked away. It'll be knocked into the backcourt tip. Then Ignatius regains possession.
You know, sometimes when you play against a team and you aren't expecting them to come out as hot as they are, and Fenwick has really come out with great energy.
Looking inside again. Now the ball kicked back. Nice pass there, and laying it in with the contact was Philip Erickson. Nice look there from the low block. You can see all the attention paid to Phoenix Gill is going to open some things up inside for Ignatius.
Yeah, absolutely. And Erickson's actually their shooter. So they're going to be up on him in a great backdoor cut. But they say, hey, if he's shooting well, he really opens it up for the rest of their talented players.
Three is up and good that time from Cameron Hogan as he knocks it down 8-4 for the Friars. And we see a little full court pressure. Gill now bringing the ball up. Again, what a time of year it is for basketball in the Chicagoland area as we get into February. No easy games on either schedule for these two teams.
So this is the first possession that Ignatius really was able to get one of their sets, kind of get through the pressure and get where they wanted. But Fenwick, like I said, right now, you know, when you come on the road against a team that's really charged up, Coach Ferguson was talking about this being a rivalry game. You know, you got to get through those first few minutes with emotion.
If you're able to, David, even if the scoreboard isn't what you want, what can that do for your team when you get down to maybe the halfway mark of the first quarter?
Yeah, I mean, right now, you know, they're only down 4 points, so they can say, hey, we got off to a start where we had turnovers, struggle to get the kinds of shots we want, and we're only down 4. So
a lot of physicality. They'll call that a jump ball underneath as it was being wrestled for by Jack O'Leary, by Teddy Kale, and also it's going to go Fenwick's way. But we've seen some physicality underneath the basket so far. The officials are letting it go, and some very valuable loose balls so far after misses.
So here's Fenwick getting into their offense, because both teams right now has really just been playing. So here's where now we're seeing the offense. Great screen right there.
Second three attempt up, second three attempt good for Dominic Ducree. He's 2 of 2, leads all scorers with 8 points. And it's an 11-4 Fenwick lead. Halfway home here in the first quarter.
Hey, Ducree is taking it personally here.
Nice look there. Gill trying to get inside. The ball's going to be off the hand of Ducree as he was defending number 11, Philip Erickson. It'll be Ignatius ball underneath.
You know, Ducree has come out on fire here. Obviously, Phoenix Gill is the guy that's got college scouts in the stands, and there are a couple college scouts here today. So Ducree has really come out here. He's excited.
Here's Gill working up top against the defensive Ty Macariola. There's a miss, and this time Cameron Hogan comes down with it. Hogan now running the offense. Transition. An open look passed up by Nathaniel Marshall. Ignatius now showing a little bit more of a zone look. That could be a problem, David, as Ignatius now giving a little bit of room to Fenwick around the perimeter, and the Friars say, we'll take it.
Well, Ignatius' defense is built to try and cut off the drive. So right now, this is kind of what you give up a little bit, is those threes. Obviously, they're going to have to contest a little bit harder. But Fenwick is shooting the ball right now, and that's why I say, hey, sometimes you got to get through that first period. 3 minutes, 20 seconds. Coach calls timeout. He's looking at right now, all right, let's chip away, get ourselves back in the game.
It's a 6-0 run for Fenwick after Ignatius had made it an 8-4 game. So we talked a little bit about David Ferguson. You know Matt Monroe as well. Give me an idea of the man at the helm for Ignatius. Now 8 years at Ignatius in a program that, like we said, has had a lot of success over the last couple of years. Their star is a junior, but a lot of senior talent.
You know, Matt Monroe is a coaching, he's going to be what you call a coaching lifer. I've known him since he was a 19-year-old kid. He was coaching high-end players when he was just a 19-year-old kid.
Deerfield High School product, huh?
Yeah, from Deerfield High School. He coached a kid who was one of the best players in the state, a kid named Jeremy Richmond, when Jeremy was a young player. And is just a really good coach, very involved in trying to help other coaches learn and get better. And he's just always been one of those guys who he loves coaching.
Well, some nice ball movement there. What a set out of the timeout drawn up by Ignatius, leads to an open look, and
so Coach Ferguson likes to do different things. He likes to switch up his defense a little bit. Probably regrets that call in that situation because the team was giving them so much trouble with their man-to-man pressure.
Well, and Ignatius able to get a big basket out of the timeout, quiet down the student section a little bit. Now Fenwick the other way, 3-ball up, and that's good. So the team's trading back-to-back triples out of the timeout. That was knocked down by Ty Macariola, and it's the fourth three-pointer for Fenwick. Contact inside, no whistle. Gildo gets the 2 to go.
Great finish. He used the ball as almost a shield. He used the ball to almost push the player back to shoot that shot. That's an experienced offensive scorer right there.
The first 2 points of the game for Phoenix Gill. The lead is 8 for Fenwick as we approach 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Macariola, another 3. That one too long. Ball's going to be out of bounds underneath off the hands of Caleb Burgeons, and it'll go Ignatius' way.
So Ignatius switched to a little zone here on these last 2 possessions. Coach said that they would play maybe a little 2-3 zone, felt like their penetration struggling, and went to something where they could match up a little better on the perimeter.
17-9, the Fenwick lead as we are approaching 2 minutes to go in the first quarter here. And we got a whistle and a foul.
So an adjustment they've made, early in the game, they really put a lot of pressure on Horncamp, and they made an adjustment to bring in Phoenix Gill and have Phoenix bring the ball up to try and lessen some of the pressure bringing up the court.
Gill will inbounds this one on the far side across from the Fenwick bench. We've got 2:03 to go here in the first quarter. That ball is taken in the backcourt by Sam Horncamp, and Ignatius getting into their offense. Fenwick able to get some hands in some passing lanes, disturb some dribbling, and there's another loose ball. Unfortunately for Fenwick, after the steal, Nathaniel Marshall stepping on the side bounds line, but man, another really athletic play that would have been a turnover, but Ignatius will keep it.
Fenwick's doing a great job of jumping the ball screens. They're jumping these ball screens really well on Phoenix Gill, not allowing him to come off those screens and get downhill.
Gill working now, finding Justin Scott. That ball knocked away, and here comes Fenwick the other way. Deontay Meeks up in contact. That'll be a foul. That will be a couple of shots after the point guard was able to get in another passing lane, almost taking it all the way in transition.
You enjoy watching that speed? That was fast. That kid's fast.
He is fast. I'm surprised that anyone was able to catch up to get a hand on him. So it'll be a couple of free throws and a chance to again extend this to perhaps a 10-point lead.
Well, I love Fenwick's energy on defense right now. They're playing aggressively, and with that aggression, they're forcing St. Ignatius to play a little bit slower with the ball. And by being slower with the ball, that help side's able to get there as well. They're really recovering well. And right now, they're just a quicker, faster team.
A couple of the Friars starters coming over to the bench, including Dominic Ducree to get a little rest here at the end of the first quarter. Fenwick checking in number 13, Frankie Hosty. Second free throw rattles around, no good. Also into the game, Merrick Hill. Here comes Ignatius trailing by 9, 1:25 left in the first quarter. See if Ignatius can slow down this Fenwick defense. Needing a bucket here. Nice look in the corner. 3 up and good. How about the three-pointers exchanged by these two teams early, David?
That's a big shot by Erickson right there, and that's what Coach says. They really need that shooting. And especially Fenwick has been pressuring so much that you're going to break them down off the dribble some. You got to make them pay with that three-point shot when they're going to extend out on the perimeter so far.
Fenwick seems satisfied to let some time run off the clock here. 45 seconds to go. 6-point advantage in the first quarter.
And this is the fun part of high school basketball where you got to watch them hold the ball for the rest of the first quarter. But Ignatius is in his zone right now. Obviously, like I said, Coach sees that right now they're just a little bit quicker and faster, and he's got to find a way to get his team to be able to match that.
Inside 20 seconds now. We'll see what Fenwick has in store offensively here for the end of the first quarter. They lead by 6. Deontay Meeks. Now the ball swung over to Cameron Hogan. It's up over his head, and Ignatius will get it back with 6.8 seconds to go. So that time, Fenwick unable to pull the trigger on a shot, and Ignatius now have the opportunity for the last attempt of the quarter.
Yeah, and again, you would say if you watch this game, Fenwick dominated the first quarter, but if Ignatius scores here, this could be a 4 or 5 point game, or 4 or 3 point game.
Three-pointer up, no good, but the follow is good. Second chance opportunity tipped in, that time by Chris Bolte.
Yeah, huge tip in. Huge tip in. Like I said, look at they're back within 4 points. Pretty good.
What a heady play there to follow that one. We've played one quarter here at Fenwick. We'll take a break and be back. The Friars leading St. Ignatius 18-14. You're watching High School Hoops on Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Good, looking sharp in both crews. This is really an excellent race. St. Ignatius at that 34-35. You can hear the fans here. Loyola looking excellent as well. Here comes the Loyola Ramblers. Good, and we've got some open water there. Some open water between St. Ignatius and Loyola. We've got, maybe about a boat length open water here.
Just all the confusion.
Welcome back to Fenwick High School. Fenwick and St. Ignatius on Sports Broadcast Solutions. Happy to have you with us. Chris Raby and David Edelman bringing you hoops on a Tuesday night. You saw a great pregame interview, Emily Lazanevich with Cameron Hogan, and we'll hear a little bit more from Emily throughout the game. Man, it's amazing to see some of these young players, these student athletes, the poise they have. This has become big-time basketball, high school basketball, especially in Chicago, about as close to the college and professional ranks as you'll find anywhere in the country, and some impressive, not just players, but young men on both teams, David.
Best city for basketball, Chicago, New York, 2 best cities in the world for basketball. Can't beat Chicago high school basketball, especially when you get 2 good basketball teams with college-level players on it. The atmosphere that we have here, Fenwick is 6 for 7 from the three-point line in this game or so. What a great, energetic first half. I'm really excited to see how Phoenix Gill, responds to this type of energy from the other team.
Yeah, the only miss was from Cameron Hogan early on in the first quarter, and since then, they've made just about everything that they've looked at. 18 of their 21 points coming from behind the arc, and that was the second for Macariola.
The really unsung part of this game, obviously you see the shooting, but number 23, Marshall, kid who's a big-time football recruit, how he has been jumping up on these ball screens has really impacted how St. Ignatius can run their offense. He's just been a pest. And he's everywhere getting his hand on the ball just like that right there.
Contact there in front of the Ignatius bench. The foul is going to go against Philip Erickson as Dominic Ducree was working his way up the court. Yeah, you mentioned Marshall. Phoenix Gill, not the only high D1 talent in this game, but Marshall, a talented football player, defensive end, who probably be able to play just about anywhere he wants. Saw a picture of him with Nick Saban from last year.
And Justin Scott as well from St. Ignatius is one of the top defensive linemen. He's going to Miami of Florida. So we have two big-time football players out here, a couple big-time basketball players out here.
In this weather, especially like today, where the sun was out a little bit, why would any high school athlete think, I want to go to South Florida for 4 years, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
they
man.
should go to the University of Pittsburgh, which is where, I went to school. So I don't like that he's going to Miami because we got to play against him now.
Talent on both sides of the court. Here comes Ignatius, trailing by 7, just underway in the second quarter. Fenwick jumped out to the early lead, and after Ignatius cut it 8-4, Fenwick had a 6-0 run. They've made 6 3-pointers so far. There's another passing lane deflection by Nathaniel Marshall. Fenwick continuing to rack those up. It'll remain Ignatius ball, but another good sign for the Friars.
Rick Pitino is one of the first coaches to really chart deflections and talk about how deflections could be such a big part of the game. And in this game, they have dominated on the defensive end for the most part with those deflections.
Phoenix Gill inside. What a nice move there. Just patience and a little teardrop. The second bucket of the evening for Gill.
So I'm interested to see if that's an adjustment St. Ignatius makes, because they got Nathaniel Marshall out of the pick and roll where he was the help defender. And that made things very different for Phoenix Gill being able to get to the basket.
Nice look inside there, and Fenwick looking in and getting 2 on the low block. That time it was a beautiful pass and the finish by Jimmy O'Brien. So a little outside in for the Friars, who have their second non-3-point basket of the evening. A whistle and some contact at the far side of the court. It's going to be an offensive foul on the Friars' ball. Ignatius can't afford those off-ball offensive fouls away from the ball, especially on the far side of the court, David. That's got to be frustrating for the coaching staff.
And again, who's the person in the middle of that? Nate Marshall. And that's why I say, hey, obviously Fenwick, the way they've shot the ball, Decree and Horgan, they've shot the ball extremely well, but 23 Marshall has been also the big impact in this game on the defensive end.
Decree, he's got a couple of threes already. Pressure picked up. Now inside out. There's another 3-pointer. Just the second miss for Macariola. He's not shy about pulling the trigger. And it seems like some nice activity into the high elbow. Fenwick then able to find guys in the corner, but also there on the wing for some opportunities. If you're Ignatius, what can you do to try to disrupt some of the rhythm of these Fenwick shooters?
Well, I think St. Ignatius is more of a man team, so he's switched to the zone, and I don't think zone is their primary defense. So Fenwick's done a good job of attacking it. David Ferguson talked a lot about the discipline before the game, and their team has played with that discipline. They have not rushed shots or taken bad shots, and that's been a big part of the game.
Another steal, guess who? Wow, big fella showing off the handles too. And now the favor returned, Phoenix Gill getting inside, a little bit of contact. Gill gets his own miss, back up again, can't finish. Loose ball battled for, and Fenwick comes down with it.
Good transition defense. Gill really has a lot of game when he gets to that basket. He's got a lot in his bag when he gets in transition there.
Macariola, couple of dribbles, baseline no, but there with the follow, getting his own miss, then again is Nathaniel Marshall. Second chance points going to be so big in this game, David, especially with the way that both these teams are shooting from outside.
First points for Marshall, he deserves that. He's been doing all the dirty work on defense, making great passes, and now he finally gets onto the scoreboard.
Shot from the elbow, no good. Ignatius all of a sudden doing a nice job crashing the offensive boards. That one stuck with contact. Basket no good, but going to the free throw line now will be Chris Bolte Justin Scott. And again, some valuable offensive rebounds up for grabs. We've seen Fenwick now 4 second chance points. Already Ignatius, 6 of their 16 coming from second chance opportunities. Won't have any there, but that'll be a chance at the free throw line for Justin Scott.
Well, that's a product of the ugliness with which they've had to play their offense so far. So they're playing hard, and they're sometimes you got to grind. You got to grind through the tough portions of the game. And like I said, Fenwick right now really has outplayed them pretty significantly, but they're still right there within striking distance, similar to the first quarter where they cut the lead down to 4. Their goal is stay in this game in the first half and figure out what adjustments they can make for the second half.
Scott misses both, but guess what? Another offensive rebound for Ignatius. Second chance, no good, and Fenwick corrals it. It was Jack O'Leary coming down with it, and here comes Dupree the other way. 25-16, 9-point advantage. That's the largest lead of the game for the Friars. Almost halfway gone here in the second quarter. Cameron Hogan, 3 no good. Ignatius comes away with it.
I think that possession right there is the type of possession David is talking about, Coach Ferguson's talking about, not getting out of their discipline. Right now Marshall's out of the game, and so this is a big part of the game when Marshall's out. And taking those quick shots is not really what you want to do.
What a sequence there by Phoenix Gill as he fought off about 4 players, got the offensive rebound, and found Sam Horenkamp on the wing. Horenkamp then one dribble and was able to get the floater to go, and that's going to lead to a timeout from David Ferguson. He doesn't like what he sees defensively.
Yes, right now Marshall's really been the most impactful player in this game, and when he took him out of the game, you got to get through those moments. And their first possession on offense, they kick the ball out and they take a really quick shot. And I think that's either he's bringing Marshall back in or he's talking to his team about let's get back to our discipline. Let's play smart. Let's play smart. Let's not take quick shots. Let's do what we were doing earlier where we're getting wide open shots. And it was a good timeout by him right there.
Hey, look at the schedules for both these teams. It's pretty amazing. That last game that Fenwick played against De La Salle, losing by a point. And I think that more than anything, both these coaches said they take pride in how their team has evolved defensively this time of year. Get into February, it's been a couple of long months, and they like the discipline they've shown. They like the way that they've played as units defensively, which I think is so important, especially with some of the star power that you're going to see on these opposing schedules. Right, David?
Yes, I know Coach Monroe said that they played like 15 games this year against top 25 opponents. The schedule, and there's no easy games in this league.
It's like an SEC football schedule.
It is. On the east side, right? Is it the east side is the better one or the west side?
Well, the west side. As a Mizzou guy, I will tell you that our side, the east side, is not the better side because Alabama does not reside there. All right, out of the timeout, a 3 look. Dupree gets it to go. That time it was the action over to Nathaniel Marshall. Then Dupree, his third 3-pointer from the corner. He's now got 11 points to lead all scorers, 28-18. Largest lead of the game is 10 for the Friars.
That is a great timeout. Comes out of the timeout, brings Marshall back in the game, runs a set play against the zone, and Dupree makes the play.
The Friars forcing another turnover. That time Cameron Hogan disrupting the pass, and it fell out of bounds past the outreached arms of Reggie Ray. Fenwick now already leading by 10 with 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. An opportunity to stretch this lead.
You can talk about speed and quickness when you're preparing for them, but there's nothing like then having to go out and play against it.
Marshall's shot doesn't fall, and that time the rebound to Justin Scott. Ignatius the other way. Their 3-point attempt, no, but Scott inside is going to draw a foul after some contact. Justin Scott's been active inside, and I'm sorry, they'll call it against Justin Scott. I thought initially pointing to the Fenwick defender.
I'm not sure he's calling it on. He's calling it on Fenwick.
So it will go against Fenwick. I've been impressed with Justin Scott inside. He missed a couple of free throws, but he's been moving around a lot on defense, had a couple of different assignments, and some much-needed size for Ignatius inside. They'll keep the ball underneath.
That's a big guy right there. Now Marshall is out of the game. Again, this is a critical point for Fenwick with Marshall not in.
Ignatius, nice move to get inside. The foul and the basket. What a move there by Reggie Ray as he took that one into the paint. I think that despite some of the success early with 3-pointers, Ignatius has got to keep trying to get the ball inside, David. That's where they've been able to not just score, but initiate some contact. This is the first time they'll have an opportunity to finish a 3-point play.
Yes, because Fenwick is guarding them tough out on the perimeter. So you're going to have to get to the basket, and your three-point shot's going to come out of kickouts. You're not going to get much in the way of three-point shots out of your offense with the way they're pressuring. So the way you're going to get them is, hey, can you break down that defense and then make the kickouts? And right now they're doing a nice job of finishing inside.
Here's that zone, the switching for Ignatius. I imagine we'll see Phoenix Gill switch about everything on the perimeter, and Ignatius forcing their first turnover in over 3 minutes. But now Fenwick right back. Transition up and in for Caleb Burgeons. That's got to be just a heartbreaker for Team Ignatius. Got the three-point play, forced the turnover, but then Fenwick right back to 2 points in transition, David.
Yeah, that was a force there by Ray. After he got to the basket the last time, he was going there no matter what, and that's the second time Fenwick has gotten their hands on the ball in that situation.
Nice look from the corner, a little too long. Justin Scott, ball rattling around, and Scott ends up with it. Now the pressure, Scott though finds an open man. Nice head fake, and another turnover. Fenwick 2-on-1 if they can keep it under control.
Getting a little sloppy here.
I think both teams, you can see the Fenwick staff telling their guys, slow down, slow down.
The energy of this game is tremendous. Both teams are playing so hard, and St. Ignatius is being forced to play up to the level of intensity that Fenwick has brought. And that's what happens when you play on the road, especially in February.
I imagine sometimes, though, like you said about early, if you can hang around here in the last minute of this first half, if you get dragged into the fire, so to speak, it could be a good thing heading into halftime. Fenwick will see what they were planning to do out of that timeout, and again, they turned the ball over. Last time at the end of the first quarter, it was about with 10 seconds left in the first quarter that a sloppy pass led to a turnover. This time, Ignatius will get the ball with 55 seconds to go. We'll see what they can come up with.
Well, I can tell you, it feels good when you're a coach, when you have a player like Phoenix Gill, no matter what the score is.
45 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Justin Scott drawing some pressure. Scott looking for a teammate. Now Ray with it. Reggie Ray with 35 seconds to go. Ray, here comes the double team. Ray looking for a teammate. He finds Phoenix Gill. 27 seconds to go here. Scott will pull the trigger, and a little too long, but a nice rebound inside by Hornkamp. One dribble up and good. Second chance points. 2 more points in the paint for Ignatius.
Chris Bolte's been pretty impressive on the boards and inside. Only a sophomore. He's been an impressive player.
5 seconds to go. Fenwick looking for a bucket. Inside, layup up, no good. And as the horn sounds, that will be the end of the first half of play. So Ignatius trailed by 10 just moments ago, able to cut it to a 7-point game, 30-23. We'll take a break, be back. We'll have some halftime thoughts, get you ready for the second half. But after 2 quarters played here at Fenwick, it's the home team Friars leading St. Ignatius to score 30-23. And you're watching Fenwick and Ignatius Basketball on Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
These are all promises. Every piece in every box on every pallet. Promises. They fill every square inch and ride on every mile. Over mountains, oceans, borders, rain, sleet, snow, beneath it all is our promise. Because we know that when we deliver on our promise, business moves forward. And you can keep your promise. Coyote Logistics.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world.
These are all promises. Every piece in every box on every pallet. Promises. They fill every square inch and ride on every mile. Over mountains, oceans, borders, rain, sleet, snow. Beneath it all is our promise. Because we know that when we deliver on our promise, business moves forward. And you can keep your promise. Coyote Logistics. Drive your business forward.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Good, looking sharp in both crews. At that 34, 35. You can hear the fans here. Loyola looking excellent.
We won this back.
Like 20 seconds of quick stats.
Oh, sorry. So why don't you take it out of the break and say second half about
Back here at Fenwick High School, we're here. The Friars have the lead 30-23. My name is Emily Lazadovich, coming here with a few quick facts from the first half. Currently for Fenwick High School, your scoring are currently at 10 for 22 from the field goal, currently shooting 1 for 3 at the line. Currently, with 23 total points, shooting 10 for 17 is St. Ignatius, and the leading scorer for St. Ignatius currently, Dominic McDury.
Thank you, Emily. Emily had that great conversation with Cameron Hogan pregame as the Fenwick guard talked about what a season it's been so far for the Friars. Chris Raby, David Edelman back with you, along with Emily and the rest of our great crew on Sports Broadcast Solutions as we open up the second half of play. Fenwick now working from right to left on your monitor, holding a 7-point lead against Ignatius. What do you expect in the first couple of minutes out of halftime here, David, from both teams?
Well, I'm interested to see how Ignatius handles the pressure, what they're going to try and do offensively to combat the pressure that Fenwick has really given them. Fenwick, I think, wants to get back to being a little more patient on offense, and they're doing that with this first possession, get themselves a nice wide open shot here.
Ooh, one of the first rare misses that we've seen from Nathaniel Marshall. So even after the offensive rebound and the second chance, it'll be Ignatius holding on defense, and they'll go to work here for the first time offensively in the third quarter.
So the pressure is not as heavy right here as it was early in the first quarter.
That one's going to be
Nate
deflected.
Marshall again.
Nate Marshall by my count, his 5th deflection of any kind. That, I guess, will go down as a block. But you've been really impressed by the way he's gotten into passing lanes, what he can do with his length defensively, haven't you, David?
Yeah, he's the MVP of this game right now. St. Ignatius, which is a very good offensive team, has really struggled offensively, largely because of his presence.
There's Macariola as he gets 2 more. He's got 8 points. Dominic Ducree leads all scorers with 11 for Fenwick. Meanwhile, a relatively quiet first half for Phoenix Gill as he has just 4 points, and a talented junior, maybe hard to get into a rhythm because of what Fenwick was able to do on the defensive side of the ball against him.
Yeah, there's very few clean passes. They don't have a flow right now to their offense. You see right there, Reggie Ray tries to come off the screen a little bit too early, and so Justin Scott sets an illegal screen. So everything is just a little discombobulated offensively for St. Ignatius so far.
Fenwick getting into their offense. Here's Ducree, who has 3 triples already. Macariola's got 2. He finds his way inside, draws some contact, and Ignatius able to get the loose ball. They can go if they want to. Sam Horenkamp able to settle it down. Horenkamp did a lot for Ignatius in the first half. This time he drives baseline. Seen some better ball movement already, but there another turnover forced by the Friars, and that time it's Jack O'Leary, the big 6'3" junior, coming down with it.
Ignatius is going to have to find a way to get Reggie Ray more involved in their offense. Phoenix Gill, obviously, you have to get more involved in their offense.
Fenwick trying to call a set. O'Leary now back to Macariola. 1 dribble and the shot up. That time no good. Too long through Cameron Hogan's legs, but ends up with Ducree. He'll try another 3. Ducree gets it to go. 4th 3-pointer. 14 points for the 6'1" junior. And just like that, a 12-point lead, the largest of the game for the Friars.
Really impressed with Ducree today. That guy has not missed a shot, and he's not overplaying like some of his teammates are. So give him a lot of credit. He's leading the team in scoring. I don't think he's missed a shot yet in this game.
Philip Erickson gets the triple to go on the other end of the court. So Ignatius back to within 9. They've been just, David, kind of in this, cut it to 9, back to 10, cut it to 8, gets to 12. They haven't had a run where they've been able to get stops consecutively on the defensive side of the ball, because Fenwick's been able to come down and get big buckets. Ignatius defensively, they've got to start there to get back into this game, right?
Absolutely. They're going to have to play better defense. But more than anything, a lot of what's led to their poor defense at times is really just offensively that's been a huge struggle. There's Ducree's first missed shot. That's the second time they've run that play very successfully. So Coach Ferguson knows he can go back to that play in a big clutch moment. But that's the key right there. Phoenix Gill is going to have to meet the intensity of this game.
And that time inside, it was a nice offensive rebound for Chris Bolte. He'll get some contact, and it'll be Ignatius' ball underneath.
But I would say if Philip Erickson ends up as the leading scorer for their team tonight, might be tough for Ignatius to win. They're going to need Phoenix Gill and Reggie Ray. Those 2 guys are great offensive players. They're going to need those 2 guys to start making some plays.
3-pointer from the corner is no good from Bolte. Fenwick coming down with it, and here is Deontay Meeks. No time wasted. Cameron Hogan inside, lots of contact, and they're going to whistle, I think, Justin Scott, the big forward for Ignatius, on the contact. No, instead it will.
It's called a jump ball.
Ignatius' ball, yeah. A little bit of contact there, but
a bit of a mistaken call right there. If the 2 players held on to the ball, if the offensive player held on to the ball, that would be a jump ball. But because the offensive player lost the ball, that should have just been considered a block. So Fenwick's coaching staff was not very happy with that one.
And another deflection. That time it was Caleb Burgeons knocking it over to the direction of Cameron Hogan, and Fenwick setting up offensively. Nathaniel Marshall with the ball, directing traffic. And now Burgeons up top. You can see David Ferguson in the white pullover. Have to compliment Coach Ferguson. He's got the clean pair of white Vans on as well. Looks pretty good. There's a whistle inside, and this will go against Ignatius.
So that play looked more like a jump ball, but he's calling a foul on the wrist.
Maybe a little make good.
Maybe. but Ignatius just hasn't been able to make enough clean passes. For an offense to run efficiently, you really want to have 3, 4, 5 clean passes. If you can get 3, 4, 5 clean passes, you generally can get your team offensively in rhythm.
David, all of a sudden, that's the third foul against Sam Horenkamp, kind of the do-everything senior for Ignatius, and maybe something to keep an eye on here as we are just under halfway home in the third quarter.
Certainly. They don't want to lose, obviously, their leader on the court, one of their leaders on the court.
So both free throws up and good. As Ducree now has 16 points. What a game so far for the junior. This Fenwick team just loaded with junior talent. Both teams really, but it's been impressive to watch some of the juniors for Fenwick take this game over. That's going to stay with Ignatius just in front of their bench and head coach Matt Monroe.
So the first time they pressed today, it led to a St. Ignatius open three. Only second time that he's put on the press, and at least this time they didn't get themselves an open shot.
You can see Monroe giving some directions before the inbounds, and it's to Phoenix Gill in the backcourt. Gill working against Cameron Hogan. 11-point lead for Fenwick. They've led by as many as 12 in this game.
He's close to a 5-second call there. And again,
another turnover forced by the Friars.
They have just really struggled to make clean passes. And offensively, Coach Monroe is going to have to think about what are the pressure releases that they can run to try and get the ball moving better without those deflections.
Deontay Meeks setting things up for Fenwick, who looks inside. Nice move there, but again, Ducree with another rare miss, and here comes Justin Scott. Scott inside, Bolte all the way to the rack, and a nice finish by the 6'5" sophomore.
Yeah,
wow.
Bolte's an impressive sophomore. He's going to be a heck of a player.
Not afraid of a little contact there as he finished at the rim, and it's back to a 9-point lead for Fenwick.
I really like what Fenwick has done, though, in these last couple possessions. You know, they see a smaller player, and they have put Ducree in the post.
Inside basket up and good. Every time Ignatius seems like maybe they're able to start something going, Fenwick able to answer right back. Burgeons to the free throw line, and the fourth foul against Sam Horenkamp. But it looks like he'll have to come out of the game here for Ignatius with 2:49 to go as Burgeons finishes the three-point play.
Yeah, that's a big loss right there for St. Ignatius. And you can tell right now, St. Ignatius is playing on their heels, and Fenwick's on the balls of their feet. You know, it's almost like a boxing match. You know, which team is the more aggressive team? And right now, it's clearly Fenwick.
And here's some full court pressure for the first time this half. First time since early in the game for Fenwick. Ignatius able to set up in the half court. Quick whistle there, and after a first half in which we didn't see a ton of foul activity, we've seen some whistles here on the second stage of this third quarter of play, David.
Yeah, you know, one thing I really like that Coach Ferguson did there as well, he put on the press, but not too much. He's not willing really to give up. He doesn't want to give up any easy baskets, but he sees Ignatius struggling with the pressure and says, hey, you know what, let's keep it on them.
Ignatius turning the ball over again on an inbounds play. What a finish by Deontay Meeks. Left-handed, up and in.
Kid probably got a little bit of a bump that could have been called a foul as well. But right there, you see how Marshall steps out on that pick and roll, and Phoenix Gill has just had a lot of trouble with him as he stepped out on that pick and roll.
14-point lead, ball inside. Whistle seemed early, but they will.
That was a huge play. A nice adjustment in the situation where Nate Marshall steps out on Phoenix Gill, and so now he's out on the perimeter, which allowed the lane to be open for Justin Scott. Let's see if maybe that Ignatius can do that a little bit more. Maybe that could be something they can go to in their offense.
Yeah, the basket will count, and Scott with a chance now to answer the three-point play. The 14-point lead moments ago was the largest for Fenwick, and Scott now trying to make it an 11-point game. Free throw no good. He's 0 for 3 from the line, and it will go back to Fenwick. Just those little missed opportunities, 1 point here, a deflection there, a turnover here, they all kind of add up when you look down at the final box score.
Absolutely.
Here's Meeks.
This will not be an easy team to play against in the fourth quarter with all their speed and quickness and ball handling. And that's where Coach Ferguson's going to talk about discipline. But they got a lot of speed and quickness and ball handling. You see with
Man, Deontay Meeks is fun to watch play.
That's trying to do too much. Kind of a little bit of a bailout foul in that situation.
That's going to go against number 12, Alex Anaya. And now we'll see Meeks going to the free throw line as Fenwick is in the bonus. 1:47 to go here in the third quarter.
So the challenge Coach Monroe has now is he's got to chase points against a team that's got a little more quickness than his team does. And that's not an easy thing. So what Coach Monroe is going to dial up defensively, because as you said earlier, at this stage of the game now, you're going to have to get stops if you're going to get in the game. Offensively, certainly they can play better and they can get hot. They're a good offensive team. But they're going to now have to be able to pick up and play better defense.
Yeah, that clock becomes an enemy as you get into the fourth quarter. Meeks will try to make it a 2-for-2 trip to the line, and his second free throw no good, but Nathaniel Marshall tips that, finds its way into the hands of Justin Scott.
Look what I found.
Ignatius now trying to break the press. Lots of contact. That'll be a foul as Meeks got into the body there of Tommy Breedeman.
Another deflection. You know, if we had the chart of deflections here, it would really be amazing the difference between the two teams. And that is the story of this game. That and Ducree's, has outplayed Phoenix Gill up to this point.
Ignatius trails by 12. Justin Scott now trying to initiate something. Nice look there, and a little too strong from Bolte, but before Phoenix Gill could come up with the offensive rebound, there's a whistle. And they'll call that against Fenwick. It'll be against Nathaniel Marshall, and Ignatius now will...
Well, that's his third foul, so that's a big foul right there. I think probably Coach Ferguson will try and play the rest of this quarter without him
and Justin Scott,
save him from getting a fourth.
Ignatius in the bonus. I'm sorry, David. In the bonus now, Justin Scott though 0 for 3 from the free throw line. See if he can convert something here. And still cannot get a free throw to fall. See a couple of changes, as you pointed out. Marshall coming out of the game. He play kind of on that edge sometimes of aggressiveness and maybe physicality that can turn into a foul, but man, is he active, and things he can do with his length got to be nightmares for opposing coaching staffs.
Well, he's a big guy that can move his feet, can really move his feet.
Pass rusher.
You can see why he's a big-time football recruit.
Maybe in 5 or 6 years, the Bears could use him rushing the passer, you know?
They could use it now.
Oh, whistle there against Fenwick. So Fenwick now with back-to-back turnovers for the first time this half, and
yeah, this is a critical piece of the game. You know, if you can get a score and a stop, this is where you talk. Score and a stop and a score, you're down, maybe 5 points, 6 points, or 8 points. You get yourself back into the game.
See what kind of urgency Ignatius comes out with after the turnover.
So Fenwick has gone zone.
Some of the Phoenix Gill, open three, good. Maybe that'll get Phoenix Gill going, no doubter, as he pulled the trigger on a deep three. Fenwick the other way. Macariola, too long. Ignatius comes down with it. You said it, David, a stop, a score, and a stop. They've got the first two. 40 seconds to go. And Ignatius not on the same page there, as the front court pass was off the shoulder of Phoenix Gill, and it'll be back to Fenwick.
I think it was off the shoulder of the coach.
Off the shoulder of someone who wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, because I don't think he was paying attention. That really hurts.
Fenwick now back into their set offensively. 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. 9-point lead.
We will have to remember that play right there, because that was an opportunity to cut the game to 7 or 6 points. So right here, Fenwick could go back up 11 or 12 with a shot, with a 3-point shot. It's right back to where they were.
Burgeons against Scott to a Macariola. His open three, good, and a foul. What a swing this could be. The third three-pointer of the evening. for Ty Macariola. And he'll try to make the free throw here to extend the lead to 13 points. Wow.
As I said, challenge for St. Ignatius right now is chasing points against a team that's got good ball handling like Fenwick does and more speed than them.
And the turnover leads to a 4-point play from Fenwick. Gill inside, what a pass! And Bolte lays it in. That was a heady play at the end of the third quarter from Phoenix Gill. So a disappointing end to the quarter from Ignatius, but they're able to get a couple back. We'll talk about it, get you set for the fourth quarter in a moment. We've played 3 here at Fenwick, and it's an 11-point lead for the Fenwick Friars over St. Ignatius. And you're watching it on Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world. Welcome back to Fenwick High School. Fourth quarter of play underway between Fenwick and St. Ignatius. 11-point lead for the Friars. Chris Raby, David Edelman with you. Fenwick right to work. Three-pointer for Decree, no good. David, walk me through the last couple of possessions that we had there in the third quarter. After Ignatius was able to get a big stop, they turned the ball over and then back to Fenwick. What did we see there in the closing moments?
Well, there was like the good and the bad. You know, Phoenix Gill hits a 3, then he's not paying attention as he runs down the court, and you get a bad turnover. Fenwick takes advantage of that, and then Phoenix Gill makes a great play to get a basket to Bolte at the end of the third quarter to keep him in it. And Ignatius started out in a little trap at half court. Let's see if they continue to do that and how Fenwick is able to handle that. But it is very hard to stay in front of that guy.
Yeah, Ty Macariola knocking on the 4-point play. There's Deontay Meeks getting into the lane. The little point guard with now 4 points in the paint.
Meeks is so fast. So that's why I say now when you're chasing points, Deontay Meeks becomes a really dangerous player on the court because you have to extend on him, and it's very hard to extend on him.
Bolte, the 6'5 sophomore, draws some contact. It'll be Ignatius ball underneath. 49-36. Fenwick has led by as many as 14 in this game. And Nathaniel Marshall, you said, has been your MVP to this point. He'll check back in as Macariola will come out. Marshall impacting the game in so many ways, especially on the defensive end. And he's probably been the reason since the start Ignatius has looked uncomfortable because he appears to be everywhere defensively.
Absolutely. And Reggie Ray hasn't come in and played at all in the second half. So something's obviously happened there, whether it's injury or coach decision for something. But taking him out of the lineup obviously is hurt Ignatius as well.
Big
and
rebound.
You can feel the juice is a little bit out of Ignatius right now.
Fenwick looking inside that time for Marshall. There will be a whistle and first foul of the quarter against Ignatius.
So at the moment, he doesn't have Phoenix Gill's coming back in here. But where does Ignatius find the juice right now to come back from a 13-point lead? You know, Gill hasn't been able to really establish himself, and Fenwick has so much quickness.
To do it against this Fenwick team, just exhausting to play against defensively. Let's see what Fenwick can do here offensively. Man, both teams success from the three-point line, but Fenwick has really looked comfortable behind the three-point line. Meeks inside, Cameron Hogan. Good ball movement here for the Friars. Sam Horenkamp, number 1, is playing with 4 fouls.
Coach Ferguson really talked about discipline. He really talked discipline when we talked to him before the game, and this is what he's talking about. The kids are playing with great discipline here, not rushing, not taking a bad shot, handling the basketball, trying to find their opportunity.
There's a whistle, and they're going to get Ignatius. That'll be Alex Anaya with the foul against Deontay Meeks. When you have a guard with a quickness like Meeks, if he's able to get past you towards the lane, sometimes nothing you can do but reach out, grab a piece, and that's another foul against Ignatius. Early on, we'll see how that affects them, because Fenwick was in the bonus almost halfway through the third quarter, David.
That was a wonderful out-of-bounds play. I actually really enjoyed watching that little circle motion out-of-bounds play. So sorry I wasn't paying as much attention because I was enjoying that. That's the basketball junkie in me.
They've run some. I've enjoyed both these teams, the sets that they've drawn up. Unfortunately for Ignatius, a couple of nice sets on inbounds plays have been passes just over the head or careless turnovers. But was saying that Fenwick was in the bonus halfway through the third quarter, and already now 3 team fouls against Ignatius here in the fourth.
Their pressure, as I said, they have really put the pressure on Ignatius all game long, whether it's off the dribble driving or whether it's with their pressure on the ball. And you just see, look at that big guy guard, Sam Hornkamp, who's a great ball handler, a great distributor. And look at him now switching off onto another guy. He's everywhere.
Nice ball movement there. Hornkamp inside off the glass and good. That was on the near side. Chris Bolte with a nice pass to the far side wing, and then Hornkamp gets the bucket to go. He has 6 points.
You know, I can't help but smile there. Sam Hornkamp started in my program, Play Hard Hoops, when he was a kindergartner or first grader, and now to watch him all these years later hitting that floater that I've seen him shoot at Windy City Fieldhouse all those years.
He's always had that little floater?
Absolutely. Yeah. Great kid, great family.
It's an 11-point lead. We'll see if Ignatius can come up with one of those stops we've talked about that they badly need. It's been since the early stages of the third quarter that the lead has been less than double digits for Fenwick. Dominic Ducree misses. Ball rattles around. Bergens inside. Bergens puts it up, no. And Anaya comes down with it for Ignatius.
Big play right here. You can really get yourself, you get it under into single digits. A huge play.
Hornkamp, what a look as he was able to get into the lane, find Phoenix Gill, and some contact against Nathaniel Marshall. Hornkamp, his first move, his quickness off the dribble, he got right past Deontay Meeks, and wide open shots have been a thing of rarity for Phoenix Gill, so that was a good look, and Ignatius will keep the ball underneath.
Hey, now you have something really to watch. You have 4 fouls on Marshall, you have 4 fouls on Hornkamp, and both those players right now are making big differences in this game. So if one of those players fouls out, it'd be interesting to see how that could affect the game.
That one's going to be deflected off the hands of Bergens, and
again, another deflection. Ball. Just nothing clean, nothing smooth.
Gill to Bolte, back to Gill. Phoenix Gill, a pretty quiet 7 points in this game. Now the 3 look up and a little too strong. Here comes Meeks the other way, and he'll wisely settle it down for Fenwick.
Heady decision by Meeks. Listening to his coach, great job.
And I think a
timeout
called by Fenwick. We'll take a quick break and be back. Fourth quarter.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Good, looking sharp in both crews. This is really an excellent race. St. Ignatius at that 34-35. You can hear the fans here. Loyola looking excellent as well. Here comes the Loyola Ramblers. Good, and we've got some open water there. Some open water between St. Ignatius and Loyola. We've got, maybe about a boat length open water here.
Welcome back to Fenwick High School. 4:09 left in this one. Fenwick, a 49-38 lead over St. Ignatius. Chris Raby, David Edelman with you. Our great crew as well as we play the final moments of this one. Fenwick trying to put it away. Ignatius trying to find some sparks that could lead to a fire to come back. And maybe that's it as Ignatius forces a turnover.
You know, that's where Marshall being out of the game, somebody might be in right now that's not really one of their guys. But unfortunately, St. Ignatius, for them, weren't able to take advantage of that one.
Here's Fenwick. Nice job breaking the press and leading to a wide open look for Dupree, who after a hot start has missed a couple, but the ball back to Fenwick. What a job by the Friars on the offensive boards today, leading to not only second chance points, but in a game like this, David, some very valuable time that can then be taken off the clock.
Well, right there, they just took Sam Hornerkamp out of the game. He's fouled out. So that's a really big loss for St. Ignatius right here. Because Hornkamp's their best distributor, best at creating offense for other players. Tough, hard-nosed senior, plays great defense. You see Coach Monroe talking with him right now.
3:30 to go.
Critical right here that you use these games as learning experiences, because the big games are coming up. The state playoff games are coming up, and so right now, every team is looking at these games, all right, what is it that we have to do from here to be ready for those next ones, the big ones?
That ball's going to remain underneath with Fenwick, and we'll see Marshall come back into the game, David. He's got 4 fouls, as you mentioned, but if Fenwick is going to close the door on this one, I have a feeling it might have something to do with Nathaniel Marshall defensively.
Yeah, that's their guy. Right now, Fenwick's got to try and use as much clock as they can on possessions. Fenwick's goal is to shorten the game up, not give many more possessions to Ignatius, because if Ignatius doesn't have the ball, they can't come back to win.
It's going to be a whistle and a foul against Phoenix Gill, who drew some contact against Cameron Hogan. And as we said earlier, Ignatius, again, with some early fouls. That'll be the bonus now for Fenwick. So for the rest of the way, as Ignatius tried to get back into it, get some stops, it'll be Fenwick going to the free throw line. Cameron Hogan has 6 points.
Well, it's tough. When you're down double digits to a team that has the ball handling and speed and quickness that Fenwick
patience
does,
too, right?
And as long as they play with patience, it makes it tough. And St. Ignatius has a good, solid team, but you wouldn't call them a team that's going to pick up and press and get after you all over the place, and you don't have a 35-second shot clock where you know that you're going to get the ball back. And
how about that? Macariola tipping the ball back to Hogan after the miss, and Fenwick now will set up again. It's tough because Fenwick has really kind of dictated the pace of this one from the start, David.
Fenwick has had the juice, the energy.
Loud student section, too.
As I said, it's almost like a boxing match where, hey, one guy keeps coming at you and one guy keeps backing up. And I'd say that St. Ignatius today has been put on their heels and is backing up, and Fenwick has just kept coming at him.
Marshall there with a heady play to instead of put one up or force one, gets it back outside, and some more time being run off the clock. Now we've got 2:15 to go. Nice cross-court passing from Fenwick. Hogan inside. Marshall. One dribble, turns, contact, up, no good, but a trip to the free throw line for Nathaniel Marshall. So 3 minutes and 12 seconds elapsed off the, or 1 minute and 12 seconds elapsed off the clock during that possession after the second missed free throw from Cameron Hogan, David. So essentially 2 or 3 possessions there in one, and it was all because of a tip by Macariola after 2 missed free throws. So instead of missing 2 and giving the ball back to Ignatius, Fenwick with a chance to add 2 more.
If you don't have the ball, it's hard to score, right? So Ignatius
all set up by an offensive rebound,
right? Which shouldn't happen. You look at the size of St. Ignatius. St. Ignatius should dominate the boards.
Marshall might have put together the best 3-point performance as he knocks in his 3rd point. Just 3 points, but man, you'd have to really look at a full final box score and you see he's impacted the game in probably every single facet this evening.
It's a lesson for young players to understand that you can impact the game in different ways. And what's the key is winning. And what he's doing is he's winning. He's not worried about points, not worried about scoring. He's worried about what you do to win basketball games. And that's what all players have to learn. every team's going to have a couple players that get the shine of scoring the points, like Decree and Horgan have been able to do. But the question is, as we see right there, those other players are critical as to who's going to win or lose a game.
The only way it could probably get tougher for Ignatius is if Marshall was allowed to tackle them. They'll keep that to the fall and the grass, but that time maybe a bit of a foul of frustration there as Phoenix Gill reached out and grabbed Marshall, and it will be 2 more free throws.
No one would complain watching Justin Scott and Nate Marshall go against each other in football. Nobody would complain about that.
Man.
Maybe after the game they can get at half court and we can watch them go at each other there. What do you think?
That's why in high school I decided to make my way up to the broadcast booth.
Yeah, you know, I've been on this earth for 53 years. I don't think I'm ever going to touch 200 pounds.
I can barely play pickup basketball anymore. These kids are bigger than me, faster than me, smarter than me, all around better. See if Marshall can make it a perfect 4 for 4 from the line on his last 2 trips. 14 points, the Fenwick lead, minute 43 as they look to put the finishing touches on this one. Bolte instead comes down with it, and Ignatius will get back into their offense. Just see, Ignatius hasn't had the ball very much in this fourth quarter. As you said, hard to score, hard to get back into a game when you don't have the ball.
Yeah, and Coach Monroe is kind of empty his bench. Phoenix is out of the game here. Like I said, he didn't play Reggie Ray in the second half. So they'll get back to the drawing board. They're a very good team. Had a tough night. That happens in February on the road. I can tell you, having coached college basketball, you go on the road in February and you're going to play sometimes against a team that just has great juice. And whether they get that from the fans, you know, that extra boost from the fans. I know Coach Ferguson really talked about this being a rivalry game, so I think he really looked at this as a big test for his players. They're coming off, as you said, a tough loss for De La Salle, but you're playing one of the best teams in the state. Losing by a point, that's going to give you confidence as you step on the court. Yeah. And, you know, Ignatius today, like I said, they kind of got hit in the mouth early and just weren't able to really recover.
I got to say, Fenwick's got to have one of the best mascots in the IHSA. You see the Friar under the basket down there on your screen.
Reminds me when I was at Duquesne University, we played St. Bonaventure.
Yeah.
And monks were walking, the guys were walking all over the place.
Man, the now A10 has some tremendous mascots. That's going to be a whistle and I believe a sideline warning.
So they want to get their subs in. He's trying to empty his bench right here, and they missed getting him in the game, and the ball was already inbounded. So it's just a matter of a referee
after
letting him sub. So right now, he's not letting him sub. We'll see if Coach Ferguson just tells one of his, there we go, letting him in. I think Coach Monroe told him, hey, don't worry about the rules. Let them get in the game.
Well, if there was one thing everyone was clamoring for with about 1:10 left, it was one more whistle. No, but it's been a game where Ignatius tried to punch back, but Fenwick just able to dictate. And I think that, you know, for a game they'll win by 14 points, David, and knock down as many threes as they could. Maybe some of the shots they didn't take in this second half, some of the patience extending offensive sets, that's been, in my eyes, the biggest reason that they're going to close the door here with a minute left.
Absolutely. Coach talked about discipline and being sound and being solid, and they were. And they deserve a lot of credit for how they played today. And you got to give credit to Coach Monroe there, too, at the
Absolutely.
end. You know, you have a tough loss, and then you show the sportsmanship of, hey, I'll sub 2. Let's let these guys get in the game and play. And that's what makes that's what makes high school basketball so great. As while they're competitive, they're also kind of like a family, all the high school basketball coaches in Chicago.
47 seconds to go as both teams have brought some reserves in. Man, it'll be a fun next month and a half in the state of Illinois, and especially the city of Chicago for basketball, won't it?
Every year, March Madness. Well, you know, March Madness was coined actually from the Illinois State Tournament, not the NCAA Tournament.
Absolutely.
So we are the originators.
I have spent many Friday out of school and then Saturday at both Bloomington Normal at Redbird Arena and Peoria Civic Center. And man, it's a special thing around the state here, and we're happy to bring you a lot of the action right here on Sports Broadcast Solutions. See a trip to the free throw line here and an opportunity for Hayes Mueller, 6'2" junior, to get on the board.
High school basketball in Illinois is high school basketball in Texas, you know, or high school football in Texas. it's huge. The state loves basketball. Hopefully we can get our local teams. Northwestern's having a really good year. Illinois is having a good year, so I'm excited for those teams. They should be in the NCAA tournament. The Loyola Ramblers are having a great season again, have a great chance to be in the NCAA. So hopefully the state of Illinois will have a lot to cheer for come March.
20 seconds to go here as Fenwick will pick up another impressive win. Again, coming off that loss to De La Salle. They've got DePaul Prep coming up on Friday.
Coach Monroe said that's the best team they played all year is DePaul Prep. So Fenwick is hopefully can come off, get momentum from this game and give DePaul Prep a great game. As I said, DePaul Prep has won 2 consecutive state championships, I believe, and Coach Kleinschmidt has done one of the best jobs that the state's ever seen as a coach, bringing that program back.
So the free throw is good, a couple of points on the board for Mackay Mandley, and now with 10 seconds left, Fenwick, maybe apropos the way this game has gone, forcing another turnover of St. Ignatius, and the Friars will be content to dribble this one out. 56-41 your final. Fenwick the win over Ignatius. We're going to take a break, come back, have some post-game reaction. Friars with a big W, 56-41 over Ignatius. Don't go anywhere. We're back in a moment on Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network.
These are all promises. Every piece in every box on every pallet. Promises. They fill every square inch and ride on every mile. Over mountains, oceans, borders, rain, sleet, snow. Beneath it all is our promise. Because we know that when we deliver on our promise, business moves forward. And you can keep your promise. Coyote Logistics. Drive your business forward.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. SBS offers live telecasts on Channel 59.3, YouTube, or Twitch. We include pre- and post-game interviews with the players.
You know, I started in the locker room. All the boys were getting going before the game and stuff, and we kind of found a little click at the beginning of the game, so I think that's what got us going.
We also include digital live statistics, play-by-play commentary, team highlight reels, and even more than that. Go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com or search Sports Broadcast Solutions on YouTube. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sure, my family loves me. They bought me this sweet new collar. My dog bowl is always full of Fido's finest. Heck, they even take care of the personal stuff of my walk. Come on, who does that? But what really sealed the deal for me was when they installed a security system from Forest Security. Hey, I'm no watchdog, you know? Forest Security offers the latest in technology and security for our home. Yeah, I'm pretty good at keeping an eye on things, but I also have stuff to do, like sleep and socialize. A smart security system can provide around-the-clock awareness and generate instant smartphone alerts. They let the family know if something is wrong or suspicious. They do all of the work for us, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You know what they say, you can't trust a dog to watch your house or your sandwich. Call Forest Security today.
Call us today at 708-452-2000 or visit forestsecurity.com.
Ever since I was a little kid, I've been interested in the ideas of justice and fairness and equality. That's why I became a lawyer. I have the opportunity to advance these ideals. Now more than ever in our world, it is important that we highlight these issues. It's important that we fight for these issues. And my clients know that Keating Law Offices will
Before you know it, you'll call me son.
You call me daughter.
You call me brother.
You call us sisters. Your family will make a difference in how America is perceived and what America stands for.
And we invite you to welcome an exchange student like me to your home and your family.
For over 70 years, AFS USA has brought exchange students from around the world to study in the U.S. and live with an American family for a school year, semester, or 6 to 12 weeks. Before you know it, you'll be a proud AFS host family.
Sure, my family loves me. They bought me this sweet new collar. My dog bowl is always full of Fido's finest. Heck, they even take care of the personal stuff on my walk. Come on, who does that? But what really sealed the deal for me was when they installed a security system from Forest Security. Hey, I'm no watchdog, you know? Forest Security offers the latest in technology and security for our home. Yeah, I'm pretty good at keeping an eye on things, but I also have stuff to do, like sleep and socialize. A smart security system can provide around-the-clock awareness and generate instant smartphone alerts. They let the family know if something is wrong or suspicious. They do all of the work.
These are all promises. Every piece in every box on every pallet.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. SBS offers live telecasts on channel 59.3, YouTube, or Twitch. We include pre- and post-game interviews with the players.
You know, I started in the locker room. All the boys were getting going before the game and stuff, and we kind of found a little click at the beginning of the game, so I think that's what got us going.
We also include digital live statistics, play-by-play commentary, team highlight reels, and even more than that. Go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com or search Sports Broadcast Solutions on YouTube. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. At SBS, we offer a professional broadcasting experience for the non-professional athlete. Just like the pros, we offer everything for you. Play-by-play commentary.
A no-hitter at Kane County Stadium. 15 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 error, and that's it.
Color commentary, highlight reels, recruiting videos, and much, much more. Unlike our competitors, we zoom in on the action and always have a live scoreboard with a live time code. If you're ready to have your next sporting event feel like CBS Sports, then make sure to call Sports Broadcast Solutions today. Our phone number is 330-957-7653, or you can go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede!
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, classy graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the postgame show brought to you by Marion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith, but my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Instead of spending hundreds or thousands with all these college recruiting sites, let us put together your college highlight reel. For just a fraction of your potential college scholarship and significantly less than these recruiting services, we got this. In addition, we put together highlight reels for teams, including high school, your club team, or travel team.
My teammate gave me a great pass, and I just took it. Other team slashed me, took the opportunity.
These are all promises. Every piece in every box on every pallet. promises. They fill every square inch and ride on every mile. Over mountains, oceans, borders, rain, sleet, snow. Beneath it all is our promise. Because we know that when we deliver on our promise, business moves forward. And you can keep your promise. Coyote Logistics. Drive your business forward.
Before you know it, you'll know my name and how to pronounce it.
You'll know the meaning of ขอบคุณค่ะ
Before you know it, you'll call me son.
You call me daughter.
You call me brother.
You call us sisters. Your family will make a difference in how America is perceived and what America stands for.
And we invite you to welcome an exchange student like me to your home and your family.
For over 70 years, AFS USA has brought exchange students from around the world to study in the U.S. and live with an American family for a school year, semester, or 6 to 12 weeks. Before you know it, you'll be a proud AFS host family. Visit afsusa.org.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. SBS offers live telecasts on channel 59.3, YouTube, or Twitch. We include pre- and post-game interviews with the players.
You know, I started in the locker room. All the boys were getting going before the game and stuff, and we kind of found a little click at the beginning of the game, so I think that's what got us going.
We also include digital live statistics, play-by-play commentary, team highlight reels, and even more than that. Go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com or search Sports Broadcast Solutions on YouTube. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. At SBS, we offer a professional broadcasting experience for the non-professional athlete. Just like the pros, we offer everything for you. Play-by-play commentary.
A no-hitter at Kane County Stadium. 15 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 error, and that's it.
Color commentary, highlight reels, recruiting videos, and much, much more. Unlike our competitors, we zoom in on the action and always have a live scoreboard with a live time code. If you're ready to have your next sporting event feel like CBS Sports, then make sure to call Sports Broadcast Solutions today. Our phone number is 330-957-7653, or you can go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.